don't love to bring another zone, yeah.
All right, very excited on the Late Night Lake Show to introduce one of my most special guests that I'll probably ever have on this show, unless Kobe decides to come on the show. Then you'll be second, brother. But wanted to welcome on Josh Walker from Options Basketball, my old AAU teammate back in my glory days. You still well in your prime. But thanks for coming on the show, bro.
Thanks for having me, man.
Yeah.
Big fan of your show, so appreciate you having me on.
Appreciate you, man. First of all, why don't you tell the people where they can find you, a little bit about what you're doing in these streets. We are in a gym with big-ass machines behind us. Just tell us what you got going on here in this wonderful estate you have.
Yeah, so right now we're in Hoffman Estates, Illinois, suburb, right, about 45 minutes out of Chicago. So about the city right next to where we grew up at, Schaumburg. So what I do is skill development. I work with kids of all ages. I develop them. Basically, you know, you have your basketball teams where you actually play the games, but then, you know, a lot of people come to me and say, hey, my kid needs to work on different skills. Yep. Whether it's shooting, dribbling, defense, IQ type stuff. Yeah. So I've been doing this for about the past 2 years. Started my business about 2 years here. And now just evolved into doing some teams. Yeah. So now applying what we learn on the court to then putting it into a team setting, so that way we can know what we worked on and then apply it to their game.
That's dope. So you got your own AAU team out here now, man. Where are y'all usually hooping around? Where are the tournaments at?
Tournaments are all over. So travel basketball, AAU circuit. We're not actually big enough yet to be competing on a national level, but hopefully, you know, we'll get to that point pretty soon. So it could be anywhere within an hour of the Chicagoland area.
Yeah. What are the age range of kids that you work with?
Primarily junior high, but I've worked with kids as young as 7 or 8, as old as, college graduates. So some guys are even playing professional.
That's what's up.
Yeah.
I got just, a sidebar question. Have you ever had somebody try out or want to get some skills, training, development, and they were just so garbage that you're like, I can't take you. There's nothing I can do for you right now.
Well, so there has been some kids that needed some work. Okay. So we'll put it like that. They needed some work.
Yeah, but you worked with them.
I work with them. So I take all the kids, no matter where they start at. I always say you can get better. You know. Yeah. Just like when we were growing up playing, wherever you start at, you can always get better. It just depends how much work you put in. You know. So there's kids that are starting or kids that are playing at a certain level. Let's say they're starting on a team or maybe 6 man off the bench. And we saw this when we were growing up, junior high. By the time high school hit, there's other kids out working them. So then they get pushed down the ladder a little bit.
Yeah. So. You were a late. Shoot, you came to basketball late. You weren't playing your entire life. When did you start hooping?
So I officially started playing 7th grade. Right. So it's actually a big shock to me that a lot of these kids now are starting like kindergarten.
Kindergarten, man. Wait a second.
Yeah,
it's crazy. It's crazy. I got a bunch of questions for you about the NBA and different players because there's a lot of movement these days. And like you said, you're a big skills development guy and how that transfers onto the court. So I got a couple chemistry dynamic questions I want to shoot your way. But first, I just need to know your raw opinion about second graders and personal trainers, or kids that are hopping into skills development so young and so early and focusing on one sport. Like, does that concern you? Like, you have kids. Obviously, you're going to put a basketball in their hands if they haven't already. Are you conscious of how early you want to engage in them and feel like they're not falling behind?
No, that's a great question. So the main thing is you don't want to have it to the point to where it pushes them away from the sport. So it's always good. A lot of the kids I work with, they're multi-sport athletes. They play baseball, football, lacrosse, whatever it may be. Yeah. But there are some kids that do basketball year-round. With those, you want to make sure you don't push them too hard to where they get burnt out, just like anything. True. So, but as far as, starting young, I think that's great. They can start with the basics. We talked about, this a little bit. You want to make sure that they're not going and trying to do too many advanced things before they're ready for it, which is a big thing.
You see that?
Yeah,
not all. like doctors, not all skills trainers put your best interest in mind when doing the development. I mean, we talked about this a couple weeks ago when I came up here, and like you see all these 5-6 dribble combinations that these kids are practicing, and they haven't even gotten a good jab fake down and stuff like that. So, how, if you take a player in, what is your first set of criteria for evaluating where they're at skill-wise?
So if they come in skill-wise, the first thing that we do is we make sure we have like their goals. So what are you trying to get to? You know, where are you at as of right now? Are you a beginner? Are you more advanced? Do you want to beat out the next player for their spot? Or are you trying to make a team next year? I do get a lot of kids that are, you know, somewhat beginners no matter what age they are. So we start with that, and then the evaluation is pretty much a little bit of everything. So you got the shooting, dribbling. A lot of it is offensive evaluation.
Yeah.
I do some defensive stuff evaluation, but once we actually get into the workouts, we apply a lot more IQ, defense, situational stuff like that.
Yeah. Last question I have, skills related wise. You got some type of industrial thing we got going here. I don't know if this was in Pirates of the Caribbean or what, but why don't you talk me through, or tell the Late Night Lake Show listeners what we have here? Because I've already had a little run with this bad boy, and it's the truth. So why don't you, I'll let you break it in. Tell us what we got.
So this is the new 10K shooting machine. I believe it came out last year, but basically
2018. Shit.
Basically, it's a rebounding machine. So you shoot your shot, you don't have to move, you don't have to get out of place, don't have to chase your rebound down, flies right back at you. Now, like you experience, you can set it to go around the court, you can set it to how far it shoots, 2-pointers, 3-pointers, and then the timing of it in general, so how fast it comes out of the machine.
Yeah?
So if you want to shoot, if you want to, you know, do a combination move, if you want to go 2 or 3 dribbles and then take your shot, get back to your spot, you can do that. You can rep it out, you can put 2 seconds between each pass, and you know you'll get up 200-300 shots in like 10 minutes.
What's the most that you usually get up in a set amount of time as far as shots?
Myself?
Yeah.
So myself, I like to shoot between my sessions with the kids. So depending on if you know someone's running a little bit late or something, so I usually set it and I'll get up about 200 in about 10 minutes. So you know a lot of times you know just like studying.
My bad. I caught a cramp.
Good.
My calves hurt thinking about 200 shots in 10 minutes, man. Holy
Well, I thought
shit.
you was about to fall out.
You
the
thought
chair,
I was
man.
really about
Man.
to catch a cramp? No,
Yeah,
mentally.
Man. You stopped for a second. I'm like, man, you good?
I was about to, oh boy, damn, my bad.
Nah, you're good, bro.
Broke
You're
me
good.
down.
You're good. Yeah, I like to get up a lot of shots between sessions instead of trying to cram it in all at one time.
Yeah.
That's a good way to get burned out. But you know, you shoot a little bit here and there. It tends to work out a little better because it's all muscle memory.
Right.
So your muscle memory, you get used to doing it. You do it 2 or 3 times a day instead of just shooting all at once and then you're sore the next day.
Yeah. Dope. Well, man, I got burning questions that we about to hop into. Like we said, this is the Late Night Lake Show podcast. I can't let anybody come on the show without getting some raw takes on the NBA and all things hoops. So we're gonna dive into that right after the break. But Warren, why don't you show the people that what we got here, what we're working on right now. We got just a couple of new things on our product line of the Late Night Lake Show podcast. We call these our first generation slander cups. Yes. So what we have here is the slanderous hot pink. Right, that's all for your ladies or for the fellas, however you feeling at the time. If you need to get your Lil Uzi Vert sassy on, you go and grab that, fill it up with whatever you need. Watch your Lakers game, say what you need to say. We are trying to hear from you on the Twitter land. We're gonna move on to the Late Night Lake Show dark blue cup right there. See, that's one of my little personal favorites. Warren, our cameraman, he designed that one right there. It's just exactly what you need to stay incognito or incognito and do what you need to do. But have no fear, this takes dark liquor like a champ. And then finally, we have our According to Sources dark gray cup. This is for the off season when we hear something about Rexman 45678. I have sources, inside sources saying this, and that. First of all, fill your cup up with this. take a couple sips out of it, and then unload on Rex 45678 because we don't have time for no fake propaganda unless it's real Lakers propaganda on the Late Night Lake Show podcast. So I'm gonna leave y'all here with this as we go into the break, and we gonna see y'all after the jump. Late Night Lake Show. We're gonna have to do a Nipsey tribute like LeBron is in all of his workout videos. Throw that on, get some slow motion. Warren, you know how to slow motion shots and all that stuff. And all, yeah, of course he does. All right, we're back. Late Night Lake Show podcast. My boy Josh, we got a workout coming up in a little bit, but I cannot let him leave without him joining me in a pre-celebration of the Lakers 2019-2020 championship. Obviously, a lot of big changes on the team, a lot of new faces. Anthony Davis is the biggest of them all. I mean, obviously, we've been hearing about AD. I've talked about it on the show. Us specifically have been hearing about AD for, about 10, 11 years now. Yeah. It feels like, even when he was back in school, in high school. But I just want to know, Josh, do you have any concerns about this Lakers roster? What's jumping out to you about this team?
I like their roster as of where it's at now. Usually LeBron has like shooting point guards. But Rondo has been a champion before, and his IQ is extremely high.
Yeah. Rondo, a fan favorite of Lakers fans. It's all sarcasm. They want him out of here, but I think Rondo has value still. Yeah. It's just,
he played for Boston, so.
Oh yeah, we got over that though. We got over it.
Play for Boston, come play for the Lakers. I don't know.
And you get a championship, all will be forgiven.
Right.
So, but they got Danny Green. That is their answer as far as a shooter.
Nice pieces, yeah. They have some nice pieces. Defensively, I think they're really good. But you can never count LeBron out to make some mid-season trades.
What do you mean you can never count LeBron out to make the mid-season trades?
LeBron is the GM. He's gonna make the mid-season trades.
Lakers, dog.
LeBron is the GM.
You think? Okay. I can't argue that LeBron doesn't have a monstrous voice in the room, but he got his biggest request in AD in the building. They sacrificed all the Lakers' young pieces down in New Orleans. So, but no, you're right. It's just what's tradable now. You got Kuzma.
Yeah, I think we gotta wait and see based on who's performing, because like you said, you have Kuzma, you have Green, you have nice pieces around him, but you gotta figure out who fits well. Because Anthony Davis as well, he's a power forward, so I don't expect Anthony Davis to take the traditional route that the other power forwards like Kevin Love and Chris Bosh did, as far as stepping out to the three.
That's
true. And work a little more inside, right? So now you gotta structure it a little bit differently.
Because as we all know, LeBron has notoriously did most of his damage in the paint. He has worked on his jump shot in this game, and honestly, this is the most threes he's taken the last couple of years. Yes, it has a little bit to do with the Warriors effect, but it also has to do a little bit of, starting to get a little bit older. Right. Some of those shots outside look a little bit more appetizing than, banging. So I am interested to see that dynamic of if AD's playing the 4, that means somebody bigger than him, either JaVale or Dwight Howard, is playing the 5. And that's another non-stretch big. Right. AD can step out and hit that 16, that corner, that corner extended
jumper. You can play high-low, too.
You can do high-low. And that's a great point. I think that it's going to drive a lot into that two-man game. Right. They're trying to bring somebody out to the perimeter, and now you have a switch opportunity where, maybe some action on the back end. My references to Dwight Howard and his past transgressions really need to get better. But anyways, do you think I'm a little too excited about them being championship contenders? Do you think they're a piece away, or can they bring it home this year?
No, you know what? I think kick me off the podcast. The Clippers gonna give them a run.
Okay.
The Clippers gonna give them a run, but I don't think they have an answer. The Clippers are they're really good perimeter defenders and small forward, but I don't know if they have an answer for Anthony Davis right now, which it's a big answer to have.
Yeah, Montrezl Harrell is an undersized big man. Ivica Zubac is former Laker. We know about, when it gets down to banging, it's going to be hard to keep up with AD, and especially if he's not even the biggest guy in that Lakers front court.
Right.
Okay, yeah, but that's fine. There's a lot of talks about the Los Angeles Clippers and all that other shit, but I think at the end of the day, they're probably going to be the two teams that see each other if they're on opposite sides of the West bracket. Do you think that a Kawhi PG dynamic, do you have any concerns there with them both being small forwards? Or I guess Paul George is a shooting guard in this situation. How do you see those two playing with each other? Because that is going to be a crazy defensive team, especially with Pat Bev.
Harold can defend. He can defend. I don't think he can work with Anthony Davis too much. Like
Right.
you're talking about a 7-game series,
Right.
No. But obviously, regular season, they have some pretty good bigs that can defend. I think they can work pretty good together. Kawhi sometimes needs the ball in his hand, but essentially he didn't have the ball in his hands all the time. I think they'll find a way to make it work, especially with Doc Rivers as their coach too. So he always finds a way to make pieces work. Generally. So.
That's fair. And I mean, Paul George is not going to be on the team or not going to be playing to start the year as he still recovers from double shoulder surgery, which nobody seems to, reference when talking about team ceilings and who's going to be a 1 seed. And I don't think the Clippers nor the Lakers care about what seed they have.
I do.
You think they
maybe? I don't think they're thinking about it right now.
Okay.
But I think as the season goes on, and you start to get some of these injuries, or depending on, you want to see who you're matched up with.
Yeah.
If somebody gets hurt later in the season, right?
Yeah, that's
so,
fair.
LeBron, AD, Kawhi, PG, somebody gets hurt, may want to stretch it out, may want to play someone sooner or later, right? You ran into some of this with the Warriors and stuff last year. So.
Oh, yeah, with KD, obviously. Speaking of the Warriors, what we thinking about the D'Angelo Russell, Steph Curry backcourt? The offense going to be there. You got defensive concerns at all?
I don't know. Everyone's talented, right?
Right.
So I don't know if.
At least offensively, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if D'Lo is the right. I think Steve Kerr. I think they'll make it work somehow, but I don't think he's the right fit for what they're looking for as far as championship contenders. You have D'Lo who needs the ball in his hand a lot.
Yep.
Steph Curry moves, Klay Thompson moves. So usually it's Steph and Draymond running the pick and roll up top. And you're just going to have D'Lo spot up. I don't know. We'll see how it works.
He's not necessarily a slasher, right?
No,
he is he is a ball dominant point.
And you're not getting up booming on nobody. So,
Right, yeah, and he's definitely not booming on anyone. So, I mean, you probably have the Warriors then coming below the Clippers and the Lakers as far as standings this year, or just as far as ceiling. Do you think the Warriors can win it all with this currently constructed team, plus Klay 3/4 of the way through?
No. Even if Klay comes back, I think D'Angelo is a good trading piece. So I think if they can match him up with someone else, maybe if they get another piece. But even if Klay comes back, I don't know if I see that working.
Yeah.
I don't think they're beating either team in LA. Houston, it's a gamble.
Yeah, talk to me about Houston real quick.
Houston, I would say would be next up, but you don't know if it's gonna work or not. I initially said Chris Paul and James Harden wouldn't work together, and the first year it actually worked pretty well. They almost beat the Warriors.
Yeah.
So you never know, but my gut's telling me it's not gonna work.
It's not going to work, yeah.
It's telling me it's not gonna work, but who knows?
All right, well, I got a minute left with you, Josh. I need a prediction. Who's coming out the West this year?
Go with the Lakers.
That's right.
Gotta go with the Lakers.
That's right. Just for fun, who you got coming out the East? Is it Milwaukee's to lose?
Probably got. I want to say Philly, but if you look at their depth chart, they have really nobody under their starting five. They have, I think they have, I'm trying to remember his name. They have like a 3, a 4, and a 5, but I don't think they have really any guards coming off the bench. I don't think Milwaukee's gonna do too well. They might get to the Eastern Conference Finals, but I don't think Milwaukee's coming. I'd probably take Philly.
Okay. Philly, LA, like it was back in the Iverson days, where Ty Lue was getting stepped over, and Kobe was still the best shooting guard in the league. It's crazy how that spanned out. But anyways, bro, I appreciate you coming on the show.
Appreciate you having me.
We about to get this workout in. We about to put this machine to use. Y'all thought I faked a cramp before. I'm about to really cramp up. So we're going to break out the new Jordans too. So Late Night Lake Show. Peace. Hey, these Jordans got me thinking I can dunk in them. I don't know, man. One, two.
Need my blood to bring another zone, yeah.